Good evening, Mississippi, and the rest of our United States of America. I am Jamie Alasia Roberts, your future candidate for the 2026 United States Senate election for Mississippi seat number 2, currently held by Republican politician Cindy Hyde Smith. I will start out my video by reading a verse from the Bible that I will it will actually, not kind of, it will have a lot of leading into the topic I'm going to discuss. So we are in the Bible, Luke chapter 20, and we're going to start at verse 20. And verse 20 says, "So they watched him and sent spies who pretended to be righteous, that they might seize on his words, in order to deliver him to the power and authority of the governor." Talking about Pontius Pilate. "Then they asked him, saying, 'Teacher, we know that you say and teach rightly, and you do not show personal favoritism,'" because Jesus Christ, God, never showed any kind of personal favoritism, "but teach the way of God in truth." And so they asked Jesus Christ, "Is it lawful for us to pay taxes to Caesar or not?" But he perceived their craftiness and said to them, "Why do you test me?" And then he asked someone, "Show me a denarius." That is the money of their time that they used. "Whose image and inscription does it have?" And pay attention to this, because I'm going to talk about something similar to this. They answered and said, "Caesar's." And he said to them, "Render therefore to Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and render to God the things that are God's." Okay, basically, where this leads into my topic, Donald Trump has created his own type of money, a Bitcoin. He's created a Bitcoin, basically his own kind of money. And we all know that the taxes that we pay to the federal and state government is something that is technically Donald Trump's. Yes, it is our money. We pay taxes, but he is, unfortunately, whether we like it or not, he is the current president. So any state and federal taxes due and owed fall under his administration and don't belong directly to him, but there's a certain way to explain it, and I apologize, I'm not very good at explaining the certain way that I want to try to make this. Hopefully you follow me. If you don't, I apologize. Hopefully you'll get it here soon. Don't give up on this video. Just please listen. Basically what I'm trying to say is render things that are Trump's to Donald Trump, in the sense of pay your state and federal taxes. I know we want to create different ways to combat the current administration and all of the MAGA politicians and everything that's going on, and the No Kings protest and different protests and things like that are great ways of doing it. There's other great ways of doing it, but up and deciding not to pay your state or federal taxes, or one or both, or not wanting to pay your federal taxes, that may technically hurt the administration right now. It may not. I can't comment on directly so, for many reasons, but I can say that not only right now, but even in the long run, even when this administration is not here anymore, stopping the payment of your taxes, even for one day, considering the large amount of people in this world, doing it for one day could even be detrimental to our economy. So we got to think when we want to, things like I see people saying, if you steal food, you steal food. It is what it is, No, we can't have with that mindset, because what that creates is people think it's okay because there's no SNAP and all of that going on right now. Keep in mind, folks, Medicaid is still going. I've done some research and on a few states, and I'm sure the other states are as follows. But Medicaid is still going. People are still getting their SSI, their SSDI, their SSD, SSA, retirement, veterans, all of those. They're still getting those checks. They're still coming. There may be a certain type of government benefit, such as the WIC TANF checks or the WIC itself, a part of the federal government, and SNAP that is not coming, but Medicaid is still coming through, and those other things that I mentioned are still coming through. And there is, I know, limited income, you stretch your dollar paying your bills as it is, and to try to allot in food on those different kinds of fixed incomes is even tougher, and that's why SNAP is essential. I get that. But instead of resorting to stealing and hurting the economy further, hurting people, when you go into not only the risk of when you go into Walmart and these different places, the risk of getting caught and going to jail, but there's also the risk of, even if you don't get caught and you get away with all of that food or stuff scot-free, you're still causing hurt, because the people, the employees, especially Walmart, I'm sure other places do it too, but I definitely know Walmart does it. Anytime there's a high amount of theft in a place, especially Walmart, they raise not only their prices on the shelves, and it may be by a few cents or so, but they raise their prices to where you end up noticing, hey, that price was $1 cheaper about 6 months ago. Well, they're trying to make up for the theft that they've endured. And they not only, and you're going to have people say, well, so what if they raise their prices? Okay, well, here's something else for those people that say, so what if Walmart raises their prices? We're not going there anymore anyways, or we're going to steal from them. Okay, you're also causing them to cut employees' hours or lay employees off altogether. Because believe it or not, the employees that work at these companies, that's why a lot of them, they go after thieves, shoplifters. They go after shoplifters because they know, hey, if I don't catch that shoplifter and keep them from stealing that item, and they get away with that item, then that comes technically out of my paycheck. It might not all come out of their one paycheck, but it's going to collectively, a few cents from each one of the different employees to make up the loss of that item. And you got people saying, well, if it's $1 item or a cheap item, yeah, okay, that may not very well hurt. That's going to make a dent. But what about items, $50 items, $100 items? And believe me, there are food items that are around the $50 and $100 mark if you get the right thing or whatever. And so any item at all, hurts not only the company, but it hurts the employees of that company. And so when you go out and maliciously to steal stuff from stores or places, kind of think of, if you don't like the store that you're shopping at least think of the little people. If you can't stand the Walmart corporate, Walmart Corporation, all that good stuff, or the other stores and their corporations, okay, at least think about the small people, the little people. And that are the people that keep the store running, the managers, the cashiers, the stockers, all of those employees that depend on the wages that they get from that store to pay their rent and to survive and to take care of their children if they have children. So when you go and steal and shoplift, no matter what amount it is, you are hurting not just that company and its corporation, but you are hurting its employees, and not just the managers. You're hurting all the employees, because that comes out of all of their salaries, all of their checks, all of their hourlies. Sorry, all of their hourly pays. It comes out of all. And I know that from the different places that I've worked for. I mean, it happens at fast food restaurants. You have fast food restaurants that if you give away food, or you set food on the counter and you allow someone to steal it and get away with it and not catch them or say nothing, that comes, that ends up coming out of your check somehow. And it's in the form of prices being raised or hours being cut. They might not take the price of the product or any part of the money for the product directly out of your check or directly out of a number of people's checks. They're going to do it because they know they can't do that by law. They're going to do it the legal way, which is cutting hours or laying employees off. They're going to say, well, theft is too high. We just can't afford to at all keep you set of employees on, or even one employee. If one employee is affected by this, it's bad. So let's not encourage people to steal, and if they see someone steal, to look the other way. I know it hurts, and you don't want to turn in someone, someone with a child or someone like that that's stealing food for their child or formula for their child. But you gotta think that they're hurting other families. There's employees at that store that they're hurting, that are going to get their hours cut, or that could get laid off because of the high theft or any of the waves of theft, or little small number of theft, or just one person, can potentially get their hours cut or get them laid off. And like I said, some of those employees, they have children too. They need to be able to buy formula for their children and food for their children too. So let's try not to encourage that. Let's encourage good things, going to the food pantries and getting food, or encouraging our neighbors or fellow people to make food plates of whatever sort, whether it's hot food or down to a lunch meat sandwich, or even a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, tuna fish sandwich, anything, a couple of sandwiches, some chips, apple and a banana, or some kind of whatever fruit, and a bottle of water, bottle or two of water, maybe a little snack with it or something. Anything you can put together will make these people that are hungry, or even homeless and hungry, super happy. They're not asking for, you've got a lot of people that don't need all that luxury food and all of that stuff, that a lot of these people can't live without their EBT benefits, because they love all these rich loyalty luxury foods and all these different kinds of things and all of that. There's a lot of people that are like that, but you have a lot of people that would just be glad to have a ramen noodle soup, or they would just be glad to have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with a pack of crackers, a pack of cheese crackers, or a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with an apple or a banana and a bottle of water. That would make their day, or make their night. That would make their week, their month, their year. That would light up their life. That's why Jesus stayed giving to the poor people and stayed doing for poor people, because he knew that was their light, to have someone to come in with kindness and to give them food. Jesus was giving spiritual food, and he gave real food too. That lit up their life. They were so lit up with hope and joy and faith. Well, that's the same thing today. to help someone with a plate of food, hot food, or like I said, just a plate or a little bag with a peanut butter and jelly sandwich or two inside, or a tuna fish sandwich or a bologna sandwich, whatever, lunch meat sandwich inside with maybe a little bag of chips or a little pack of cheese crackers, banana, apple, some whatever kind of fruit, and a bottle of water. Or the little Capri Sun juices, or some kind of juice, or some kind of something, or anything that's juice and healthy. And if you can't afford those type of things, and if you can afford a 12 pack or a 24 pack of sodas, generic sodas, or whatever sodas or whatever, then so be that. That's cool too. It's the thought it counts. It's not what you get and how much it costs. It's the thought that you put into it. It's the point that you got it, whatever you get, the thought that you put into getting something to help people with. Doesn't matter what it is. It can be anything. You can give somebody a $1 bill on the street and they can go get a $1 hamburger. You can still go to some places and get $1 hamburgers. Or if not, you can at least go to Taco Bell and get something off their $1 menu. Or you can go in the store and get at least one of those little small bags of 50-cent chips that they do have in a lot of stores, or a snack cake or something. $1 does help. Or they could, take that $1 and maybe get help with another $1 from a few other people and build those dollars together to get food or whatever. $1 goes a long way. And if you don't have money to give at all, or to help with at all, for food or for shelter, then helping with just food is good. Or if you have space in your backyard or nearby where someone can set up a camp, set up a little tent or something like that for safety. If you don't own your property, maybe ask your landlord if it's okay. Some landlords will surprise you and they may be okay with it, and some may not be. And if they're not, then at least you tried. That's what counts. At least you tried. You asked. You can say, hey, I asked. My landlord said no, but I can try to help you out with some food. I can do that. Or if you have a garage or something like that, maybe they can spend a night in your garage or something like that. Many of different ways to help people. We don't have to donate hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars, or spend hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars. We don't even have to spend $50 or $100 or anything like that to help someone. If you're able to help with someone with just $1 or a couple of dollars, or with a couple of sandwiches and a bottle of water and a little snack or something like that, that pleases the Lord. That makes God smile. That's what He wants. And do it in humility. Don't let your left hand know what your right hand's doing. That means don't thank yourself even in private, and congratulate yourself for what you did for someone. Just do it without thought and don't expect anything in return. Because I see there's people saying, oh, well, I'm not going to help this person if they ain't helping me, and da-da-da-da-da. You can't do that. You can't help someone with the expectation of getting help back. Because you may come across someone who needs help that is not able to help you back in any kind of way, or even in the future. They're not getting any kind of money or any kind of thing that they can help you. And even if they are getting money or anything, they may need that to continue to help themselves with other things they need help with, a roof over their head, or things like that. So that's what we have to think of. We're supposed to just help people we see in need that need help, and leave it up to God. If they don't really need the help or anything like that, or whatever, they're out there getting the help or misusing the help or whatever, taking advantage of the help, any negative type of thing that they're doing when it comes to the help they're getting, that's between them and God. Let God take that up with them. Let Him handle that. Let Him take the vengeance on that and handle that. Let it between them and God. Be between them and God. If they take money you give them and go get booze or whatever, etc., let that between them and God. That's not for you to judge and say, hey, I'm not going to help them because they may take my money and go get beer or booze or this or that or whatever. That's not for you to think of or to judge. It's just for you to give freely if you can. If you can do it, give freely. And whatever they do with it is between them and God. If they go get food and shelter with it, then great. That's wonderful. They were honest. And if they didn't go get food and shelter with it and they lied or whatever to get that help, then God will take care of them. Rest assured, God will take care of them. It will be handled. It will not go undone. They will be handled for doing that, because that could have went to someone who does need food and shelter. We get that. Everybody, we all in the world get that. But that can't have us say, no, I don't want to help you and take that chance because someone has done that before that I know for sure. And so I don't want to help. No, we can't have that attitude, that mind frame. We've got to help regardless. We have to love one another, love our neighbor, love thy enemy as Jesus Christ did, and help all and continue to help without judgment, and let God take care of that. Let it be between them and God. Whatever they do with whatever money or food or whatever you help them with, and if they don't do right with what they were given, and they, ill will or whatever, then that's between them and God. And God will take care of them for that. And so back to a little of what I was saying. Paying taxes, like I said, we can't stop on that, on paying any taxes, whether it be state or federal or both. Because I've seen a lot of people say, well, I'm going to stop paying my federal taxes and all that. Or some people say, I'm going to stop paying my state and my federal taxes. Whatever we can do to hurt this current administration. You're not just hurting them. And you could not be possibly, maybe not even hurting them in any way. But even if you are hurting them in some kind of way, you're hurting the people of America more. Because that's going to have long-run consequences. Those tax dollars not coming in could end up causing things to definitely get cut for sure. Choosing not to pay your taxes or doing all of these out of control, malicious shopliftings and stuff, that could have a lot of negative effects. One of them being martial law. You got a lot of people saying he may call martial law, and that's been mentioned so many times, but it can end up coming true if we start to act a fool. If we start getting out there and shoplifting from a whole bunch of places and causing a whole bunch of problems, and if too many of us stop paying, even our federal taxes, that could very well feed and give him a reason. We don't want to feed into it. We don't want to give them a reason or any reasons at all. They're already doing what they're doing now. We don't want to give them any reasons to do anything else that they could end up doing, that they may not do if we just show them that they're not going to get a reaction out of us, that we're not going to react, that we don't need that, all of that stuff so desperately. And maybe they'll say, well, hey, maybe let's put everything back in all this, because they've showed us that they don't desperately need SNAP and all that bad, that they all band together and came together and made food and fed thy neighbor, or these food drives to feed people, or the food pantries to feed people. And then, if we keep doing collectively good things like that, then maybe they'll say, well, hey, let's kind of back off a little bit or whatever. And, maybe things will get a little better. But never choose no kind of negative effective things. Never choose anything that you think will have a certain negative impact on certain people or whatever, but it doesn't. Whatever negative impacts you do, such as that, even when it comes to the federal government, that has a negative impact on our country. And you may think it doesn't, but it does. It really does. It does have a negative impact. And I would hate to see, with everything that we're going through now, I would hate to see any consequences, any bad consequences, negative consequences happen as a result of different negative actions taken. You know, I know you have people saying, well, I'm not going to do that, or I'm not going to participate in any of that. And that's great. That's wonderful. If you're not participating in any of these types of things and going to continue to pay your taxes and just wait it through and make it through and do what you can to make it through and all of that good stuff. And not shoplift and steal from places and make it harder on the employees. As I said, it would make it hard on them as well. And that's good if you're not participating in any of that. But to the ones that are wanting to, or that are going to, without a doubt, I urge you, please don't. Please make other choices. Please try to seek out food pantries, or seek out family or friends, or it may be neighbors or strangers. Anywhere you can go, local churches, anywhere you can go to get help with food or any of those types of needs that you need help with. Please do that. Please do not resort to mass shoplifting or causing a mass wave of shoplifting that could have negative consequences from our government, from our current administration. That they're just looking for a reason to come after us even more. So let's not give them any more reasons. Let's show them that we can come together as an American nation, as American people who love each other, whether we're neighbors or enemies. And this time we have to choose to love each other regardless, because you never know which one of your enemies may be in need, may need help with food or something that they may need help with. This is not the time to continue to be mad at them and to remember why they're your enemy. This is the time to love them past being your enemy and say, hey, look, I know we don't get along right now. You know, we're not exactly friends. We're supposed to be enemies or whatever, but let's put that aside. You're starving or I'm starving or whatever, you know, let's help each other. You know, you help me or I help you or whatever. That's what's most important right now. If we can show this administration that we can put all the hate and all the viewpoints that we have of different people, if we can take and show that we can put all of that to the side to just come together regardless to help one another, whatever we need, food, shelter, clothing, whatever they need or we need, vice versa, etc. You get what I'm trying to say? If we can band together and show them that regardless of what we think and feel about each other, one another, that we can still come together and help each other out with whatever we need, that is the best way to fight back to this administration, is to show them that regardless of our views and how we feel about each other as people, skin color, race, gender, whatever, any of the different things or reasons that they have issue with us or we with them or whatever. I love everyone. I don't care if they're black, pink, purple, green, yellow, orange, whatever. 5 Peter Pans, 10 hoo-has, 7 boobies or 8 boobies or whatever, just trying to be funny. If I'm sucking at it, sorry. But essentially I don't care. I see someone in need, I'm going to help them, because that's what you're supposed to do as a basic human being, period. But definitely as a child of God, you definitely should help people. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing and coming out of my comfort zone and everything that it entails, and joining a huge fight. And as a politician of that, and running for this election that I'm running for in 2026 for the United States Senate, because I feel like I have a whole lot of helping and healing that I can bring, not only to Mississippi, but to America as a whole as well. I know I can do it. And I'm not all qualified, but that's okay. Jesus doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the call. So he called me to all of this, and he's going to qualify me over time, and I'll have the qualifications necessary that I'll need to do what I need in that Senate position. Just please bear with me. I'm not going to be one of those ones that is going to pretend to be a perfect politician, or that I'm going to be a perfect politician of any kind of sorts. I'm just a normal human being like everyone else. And I'm just going to do my very best that I can and fight with every fiber of my being to fight for everyone. Because I am tired of this racism. I'm tired of the violence that comes with the racism. I'm tired of all of this aggressive deportation, all the aggressiveness from ICE and that it entails with the deportation, and all of these, even people, as young as toddlers getting, handcuffs, restraints on them. The 17-year-old that was taken, I believe, from his school. I can't remember the exacts of the situation, but I believe he was at school. And, these different reports with parents saying that they dropped their kids off at school and their kids are missing. Like, we have a lot going on in the world with children coming up missing, and, that are getting taken, or these people, even adults that are having their homes broken into, or when they're at their children's school, their vehicles broken into, and they're just taken from them and taken to God knows only where. Some horrible place, I can imagine. And then all of this other stuff going on. Come on, people. We've got to do better. That's why God is so angry. We've got to do better. We've got to come together and do better. We've got to help people. We've got to do more for this country. Do more for our state that we're in. Do more for our country. Do more for people. We've got to help. People need our help. There are people that need our help. I could sit in my comfort zone in my everyday life that I've been in, as blessed as I am by God. But I'm putting all of that at risk because it's worth it to me to take the God-given gifts that I have of a kind heart and a beautiful soul to go out and to help and to heal not only Mississippi, but our country, America, as a whole. So not only Mississippi has what it needs, but America has what it needs. Because yes, you can sit there and help your own state and choose to just do that. But it's better to not only help your own state, but to help your country too. Because what happens in your country can affect your state. We see that happening right now. This government shutdown is affecting every state in the United States of America. So we want to not only put God first, of course, and as with me, I put Mississippi first next, and then America first. I'm God first, Mississippi first, and America first. And that's the kind of politician that not only the state of Mississippi needs, but this country needs. That puts humans first, period. Yes, my state, but also my country of America. I love you all. You have a blessed night. I hope you enjoyed this video and got good information out of it. I hope it helps you. I'm sorry if it doesn't, or if it offends you in any kind of way. My videos, my messages, none of it is never intended to cause harm or violence or offense or anything negative whatsoever. I'm only trying to share the love of the Lord. I'm only trying to do right by God. I'm only trying to help humanity, trying to help my state of Mississippi, of course, and trying to help my country of America, because other states here in America, this whole country, America as a whole, is important as well. And I love America. I love Mississippi. I love my birthplace, New Orleans, Louisiana, as well. And I love you all. God bless you. I love you, brothers and sisters, in the Lord's blood. Please be safe. I hate that my brown skin and black skin brothers and sisters have to walk around in such fear and survival mode, and wondering if they're going to be targeted. And I'm so sorry you have to walk around with that on your shoulders or on your back. I'm going to fight as hard as I can, my brown skin and black skin brothers and sisters, in the Lord's blood, to make it safe for you again, to make it safe for you, period, to make it so safe that you can walk 5 miles down the street to go somewhere and make it there completely safe, and walk that same distance back home and make it home completely safe. I'm going to fight with every fiber of my being to do just that. Again, I love you all so much. Please don't give up on me. And I appreciate your support and your love. Share, like, subscribe, and vote for Elijah Roberts come 2026 midterms election. I love y'all. Good night.